This conference will now be recorded.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ರೀ ಸರ ಆರಾಮದಿರಿ?
ಹಾ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಸರ್. ಕೋಆರ್ಡಿನೇಟರ್ ಡ್ಯೂಟಿ ಸರ್.
ಏ ಹೌದು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಹೌದು. ಈ ಹುಡುಗರು ಲಾಗಿನ್ ಆಗ್ಯಾರ ಸರ್? ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಆಗಿದಾರ?
ಹಾ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಬರ್ತದ ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಸರ್, ಅಲ್ಲಿ 40 ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ಯಾರ ಸರ್ ಈಗ.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ನು.
ಅಂದ್ರ ನೀವು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ಟಾಪ್ ದಾಗ ಮಾಡತ್ತಾರೆ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ದಾಗ ಮಾಡತ್ತಾರೆ ಸರ್?
ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ಟಾಪ್ ಏನೋ ಅದು ಗಡ್ಬಡ್ ಇದ್ದದ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮೊಬೈಲ್
ದಾಗ ಮಾಡತ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ.
ಹಾ ಇರ್ಲಿ, ನಡೀತದ, ಏನ್ ತೊಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ.
ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಮ್ಯಾಲ ಐತ್ ನೋಡಿ ಸರ್, ಮ್ಯಾಲ ಐತ್ ನೋಡಿ ಸರ್, ಪೂರ್ತಿ
ಮೇಲೆ RS ಹಿರೇಮಠ, ಆಮೇಲೆ RS ಹಿರೇಮಠ ಟಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಏನೋ
ನಂತರ ಒಂದ್ ಕಾರ್ ಐತ್ ಸರ್, ಕಾರಿನ ಬಾಜುಕ್ 2 ಮನುಷ್ಯರ ಚಿತ್ರ ಅದಾವ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಂಬರ್ ಅದಾವ ನೋಡಿ ಸರ್.
45 ಬಂತು.
ಹಾ ಸರ್, ಈಗ ಹಂಗ ಏನಾಕೈತ್ ನೋಡ್ ಸರ್, ಈಗ 9, 10 ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರಾಗ 5 ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರಾಗ ಈಗ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ರೀಚ್ ದಿ ಮೋರ್ ದನ್ 70, 80 ಸರ್.
ಆಗ್ಲಿ, ಆಡಿಯೋ ಅಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಆಡಿಯೋ.
ಹಾ ಸರ್, ಈಗ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋ ಸರ್ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ.
ಹಾ
ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ ಗಿವನ್ ಟು ದೆಮ್ ಸರ್.
ಹೌದ್ರಿ. ಈಗ ನಮ್ದು ಆಡಿಯೋ ತಾನೇ, ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಅಲ್ಲ?
both sir, the audio, only audio sir, and even they can see your the photo also sir, along with this.
ಅಚ್ಚಾ, ಓಕೆ. ಇದು ಒನ್ನೇ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ನಾವು ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಯಾವಾಗ್ಲೂ, ಬೇರೆ ಟೈಮ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ. ರೈಟ್
ಸರ್, you are our teacher.
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ರಿ ಸರ್, ಅವಾಗಿನ ಕಾಲ ಬೇರೆ ಇತ್ತು, ಈಗೆಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ಇನ್ವೆನ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ನಾವು ಚಾಕ್ ಪೀಸ್ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಮಾತಾಡ್ದವ್ರು, ಈಗ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೊಸ ಸ್ಟೈಲ್, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹಿಂದೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಆಗ್ತಾವ, ಹೌದಲ್ಲ
ಸರ್? ಟೈಮ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟೀಚ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅಸ್ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಸರ್.
ಹೌದು, ಕ್ವೈಟ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್, ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಸರ್. ಓಕೆ,
ರೈಟ್,
ಓಕೆ, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್.
ಓಕೆ, ರೈಟ್. Hello, am I audible to you, students? Hello?
Yes sir.
Hello, I think 54 members are. Hello, am I audible to you?
Yes sir.
Yes sir.
Okay, thank you. A very good morning to you all. Hello.
Good morning sir.
Good morning sir.
Good morning sir.
Okay, thank you. And I hope the lockdown has increased your mental and physical strength by staying at home and having nice food for all the 3 times and all, na? Is it so? Hello.
Sir.
Acha, today I will be talking to you on one important topic, Brahma, Mada and Murcha. So I have posted that PPT on our this thing. Do you have access to that? Can you open that?
Yes sir.
Open that. Just go on opening that. So slide by slide I will just go on talking to you people, right? Hello.
Yes sir.
Sir, they are listening. You can start, sir.
Okay. Although I am not getting the response, Allah. So all right, I should go on talking.
No sir, they are listening. You goes on the start, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Fine. So today we'll be discussing about Brahma, Mada, Murcha and Sannyasa. And these are basically 4 factors which are experienced by the clinician. And these all 4 factors are very important from clinical point of view. This could help a clinician to identify and make the diagnosis, to estimate the prognosis, and arrange for the immediate treatment modalities. I repeat, these 4 factors which are experienced by the patient, seen on the patient, are of utmost clinical importance, which could be sometimes simple experienced by the patient, could be sometimes ignorable, and sometimes these are having utmost clinical importance and could be an alarming sign also. So these all four factors have got clinical importance, and the clinician should have a clinical expertization in identifying and distinguishing these all four important factors. These are not very difficult to identify and understand. The time varies based on the severity and the duration. These can be named as Brahma, Mada, Murcha, and Sannyasa. And accordingly, the management can be extended, management can be arranged for the patient. Very important is how the clinician identifies and extends the help is very important. So as because we are Roga Nidana students, our limitation is only till the diagnosis or doing the Vyadhi Nidanam. So hence, we'll not go to the second part. We'll talk only about the diagnostic point of view regarding these four factors. Acha, let us talk about the first factor, that is Brahma. In Madhav Nidana, a lot of explanations are there. In Sushruta, there is. In Ashtamrita, in Charaka, a lot of explanations are there. And you can go through the literature still more if you want the elaborative discussion about this. In Madhav Nidana, it is mentioned Chakravat Brahmato Gatram Bhumo Patati Sarvada Brahmaroga iti Neyo Raja Pitta Atmanataya. That is, the dictionary meaning of this Brahma is giddiness, wherein a person cannot balance himself and he feels giddy. He feels as if he is rotating, or the objects around him are rotating and he or she is not in position to balance himself or herself, and they may fall down to the ground. This is purely Pitta Dosha Vikara, Raja and Vata. Vata, of course, has to be there for all the factors because it is the initiator and transporting agent of all these morbid doshas. So Brahma is a very simple factor which can be seen invariably irrespective of the age, irrespective of the sex, irrespective of the place and time also. Regarding its clinical importance, I'll be talking later. Let me finish this Ayurvedic point of view. So whenever Pittaja Ahara Vihara are consumed, so this Pitta dosha is going to create a sort of feeling in the patients, in the individual, and which can result in more important is Sadhaka Pitta is involved here, Sadhaka Pitta, and Sadhaka Pitta, when it gets aggravated and it vitiates not only Raja and Vata dosha, it can altogether create a subjective feeling called as Brahma, that is giddiness, which doesn't allow an individual to stand properly in a situation. Now this, if a person takes rest, it is not an alarming one. Sometimes it could be alarming. Sometimes it could be dangerous, and sometimes it could be an mouthpiece of some other disease. For example, if a person is having now I'm trying to tell you the clinical importance of this factor Brahma. If a person in simpler of conditions, if little starvation is there, as we see in case of summer, because of perspiration and all, or because of starvation, if the volume gets down of the blood, if the temporary hypovolemic condition is there, and if the hypovolemic situation is developed temporary at the intracranial area, it can result in a mild form of giddiness. This is one. And if the person takes rest, it gets, you must have experienced whenever you were doing in high school days while doing the drills on Saturdays and all. This is the best experience one can experience. This is what we call Brahma in a simpler terms. Or otherwise, in summers, Brahma is very common. By just drinking Sharkara Jala or Kharjura Mantha or any Madhurasa Paniya Dravya, automatically this gets off. Secondly, any person who has a refractive error and persons with refractive errors also will also. Hello?
Sir, sorry to interrupt, sir. Sir, the
Yes.
PPT is not visible, sir.
It's not opening, huh?
No, sir.
Acha, all right. You listen to me, then you can compare that. Don't worry, okay?
PPT are there in the Google class. Sir has been already sent in Google class. You open the Google class PPT and follow the lecture of the vice lecture of the sir.
So
Okay.
it has not been shared in Google Class.
Okay,
No, I have
okay. Just
sent
you
you.
listen.
Yes.
You listen it. You listen it and later you open it and see they will share later hours.
Okay,
Hello.
sir.
Hello, students. If you are able to access the PPT at the same time, you can open it and try to listen to me and compare the lecture with the slides available there. Otherwise, you just don't worry. You can later also can do that. Okay. You can go and note in the points wherever required. You can note the points. Is that correct? All right. So
Okay,
I was
sir.
talking about the experience of Brahma. So in simpler terms, what I would say is that identification of these factors is very important from clinical point of view, as because we are Rognidana students. So Vyadhi Nidana is very important. That is, diagnosis is very important, right? Okay. So in patients and people who have certain refractive errors also, they are also likely to experience this Brahma. And thirdly, people who have some middle ear problems. It could be a middle ear infection or it could be a middle ear labyrinthitis and all, anything. Such people also are more vulnerable for experiencing mild to moderate sort of Brahma. Okay. Then people who have got some conditions like hypertension. Hypertension also is many times in many people, they do land up in the OPDs with saying that we have Brahma, that is, we feel giddy whenever we are for a fraction or some couple of seconds and all. This also is experienced by them. And people who have diabetes, in people who are having diabetes or high levels of sugar, these people also are likely to experience giddiness. So these are these four factors which have been mentioned in Ayurvedic classics. Not only they are having academic importance, even clinically they are very important, and they could be many times a guiding force for you in your clinical practice. Okay. So this is about giddiness, and giddiness is not, most of the times it is very simple, could be sometimes it is physiological, and if rested or by minimal measures it gets okay, and there's nothing to worry about that. Only the clinician should be very keen in evaluating this particular situation. So now this is about Brahma. Even people who consume more Pittakara Ahara Vihara also, as I said initially, this also could present in a form of, in the context of Amla Pitta also, Brahma has been mentioned as a feature. It has been mentioned as a Lakshana in context of Urdhvagata Amla Pittam. So it is the male culprit is Pitta dosha, and Pitta Shamaka Aushadhi or Pitta Shamaka medicines are going to suffice the vikar of this, unless it is not seen as secondary to an problem with the middle ear, or problem with the refractive error, or problem with diabetes, or problem with hypertension. For all that, the clinician has to be prepared, and no ignorance should be shown while evaluating a condition called Brahma. I hope I have conveyed you the message. Let us go further. Mada. Mada is a term used in the context of Madattayam, wherein a person gets a sort of mood because of the intoxication. Mada. There are varieties of Mada which have been mentioned in classics. Vataja, Pittaja, Kafaja, then Madhyaja and Vishajanya Mada has been mentioned, which is most of the times Mada is purely an indicator of alcoholic intoxication. Acha, how do we if a person is brought to you in that state of Mada, this is a severe form or earlier form of Murcha. Mada is the earlier form of Murcha. These are all, these 4-5 conditions are interrelated. Based on the severity, the nomenclature can be given to them. Ultimately, it is the clinician who has to judge this because he will be the judge of that particular situation. Now, how to identify this Mada? If it is because of Vishajanya Mada, if it is because of Vishaja, or if it is because of Madhyaja, clear recording of the history, that is Prashna Pariksha, should be more than sufficient to designate or to identify that. Interrogation, the clinician should properly interrogate either the person himself, if the person is responsive, awakened, or otherwise attender of the patient. Unfortunately, if none of these is available, patient is not responsive, and if none of the attenders are there to answer to your queries related to Mada, you can straight away examine the patient and identify the for example, if it is due to Madhyajanya Murcha, his breath smell is more than sufficient to designate Madhyajanya Mada because of Madhya intoxication. So secondly, if it is because of Visha, the odor, when you go nearer to that, or the poison is sprinkled on the Visha, sprinkled on the clothes and all, the odor, the peculiar, because it is very easy to distinguish between a Madhya and a Visha. The odor itself is more than sufficient for us to identify, to distinguish between whether it is Mada is secondary to Madhya, or whether this Mada is secondary to Vishajanya Mada. So these two are important factors we have to remember when we are trying to apply clinically, when you are trying to identify a Mada. Mada in the context of Unmada is different, little different, wherein in Unmada, like a moody person who becomes more violent and all, that also is a variety of this Mada only. But in this context, it is not, let us don't talk about that Mada which is told in the context of Unmadam. Okay, so this is about again varieties of Mada are there, that is Vataja Mada, Pittaja Mada, Kafaja Mada, and Sannipadaja, along with the other factors. So you have to be careful while identifying and doing the interpretation of these 4 situations. Okay. Now, the third factor is Murcha. The dictionary meaning of Murcha is unconsciousness. Now, there can be innumerable reasons for, in Sushruta Uttara Tantra 46th chapter, elaborative descriptions are there. Now, as paucity of time, we may not be able to go in details of that. I will try to highlight because already I have given you the PPT slides. You can open them. You can know the shlokas, and you can note the references also, and any explanation therein. What is very important is how to identify and how to make sure that this case is, whether it is Murcha, Mada, or Sannyasa, this very, because all these 4 factors have got very importance in clinical practice, and the prognosis of the situation depends upon the diagnosis of the situation. This is for sure. Okay. So now to identify this Murcha Avastha, Murcha is a state of unconsciousness. Now, to identify, to understand Murcha Avastha or unconsciousness, we must know what exactly is meant by consciousness. This is very important. Many times we medicine people fail to identify, we do not know, medical students do not know what exactly is meant by consciousness. Consciousness is a condition wherein a person is aware of within himself and the external. I'll repeat, consciousness is awareness of an individual within himself and the exterior or the external. For example, to give an idea about these two things, for example, if a person has got the urge of avoiding urine, now he gets a sensation, right? When he gets a sensation, if the time permits, he can go there, attend to that, and come back. This is what is called as internal consciousness. Or a person, according to the time he feels hunger, he feels thirsty. Accordingly, he goes and quenches his thirst, and he'll goes and eats something and tries to subside his hunger or try to respond to the hunger. This is the second example of internal consciousness. And so about a few examples of external consciousness. If you are sitting elsewhere, if something is creeping, harmful insect is creeping to you, so like a snake or something like that, what best you do is you try to avoid that. Or you are riding a vehicle, you know that something is there, some pit is there, ditch is there, or some dangerous road end is there, or something has happened there. What do you do? Your conscious says that you avoid this, take a diversion, and go to some other safer route. This is what is called as consciousness of the external. So when you know pretty well about the meaning of consciousness, the state of unconsciousness is quite understood in a better way. Now, what is meant by unconsciousness? Unconsciousness is a state wherein a person fails to identify, to perform the duties in accordance with the time and place. This is what is called as unconsciousness. Person may be sometimes responsive to verbal calls. Sometimes patient may be responsive to the physical calls, superficial stimulations, or even sometimes the patient may not respond, may respond to a deeper. This all depends upon a severity of the state of unconsciousness. And mind you, ladies and gentlemen, unconsciousness is very important diagnosis to be identified by clinician on the patient. Unconscious, there are invariable reasons. There is 101 reasons are there wherein a person can become unconscious. It could be some systemic disorders, it could be some circulatory disorders, it could be due to some metabolic disorders. Many are there. Secondary to some systemic anomalies, this can be seen. Important is how best we identify this murcha is very important. Okay. Now, as to tell you here in a few examples is starvation. Initially, there is a Brahma, then there may be some mother type of experience, and some patient may land up in a Murcha Avastha. It all depends upon how the clinician identifies this and designates the situation. Unconsciousness can be sometimes alarming in some of the situations, and it could be an emergency situation also, wherein a designation of that situation is important, and patient may need immediate medical emergency or emergency management, especially when we talk about Murcha Avastha. So when you are there at the scene of the event, as far as Murcha is concerned, when you should try to ascertain whether the patient is in what sort of whether he is in a semi-conscious state, that is the primary stage of unconsciousness, or he's a state of unconsciousness. It's very simple to identify on the patient whenever a clinician arrives at the scene of the event. Okay, so this is even unconscious also could be because of heavy dosage of alcohol, heavy dosage of the drugs like sleeping tablets, heavy dosage of homicidal or suicidal consumption of drugs or poison, or many times starvation, or initially cerebral infarction or cerebral ischemia, cerebral infarctions, or myocardial infarction, or even sometimes shock conditions also. The varieties of murcha avastha is seen, or unconsciousness is seen. So whenever a murcha avastha patient is brought to you, our prior duty should be to designate what exactly it is due to, and the prognosis of the situation also can be identified very easily only by the person who is attending on that. You have to see for the other systemic features or the vital signs, and accordingly you have to refer the patient to the appropriate center where the facilities are facilitated. So this is about murcha avastha. Murcha avastha also is it is also varieties are there: pittaja, vataja, pittaja, kafaja, and sannipataja, madhajanna, and vishaja murcha are seen. Whenever a murcha patient is brought to us, for example, if you are there at the scene of the event, if you are asked by the attenders to attend on the patient, when you go there, what the clinical books say is that just observe the situation first. See the environment. If the patient is lying on the bed, if the patient is on the bed, in his or her bedroom, never ever try to touch anybody, and never ever try to see handle anything. What you have to do is just you have to observe the situation there, because what observations you are doing there or you will be doing there will be a guiding force for you in identifying whether it is an accidental, whether it is an homicidal, or whether it is an suicidal. In these cases, unnecessary we are harassed for no reason in not following the protocol which are to be followed by a clinician at the bedside. Okay, so now when you have gone there, never ever try to touch anything there. Just keenly observe. Keep good ventilation, light ventilation, and air ventilation. If air current is not there, try to provide good torch. Without proper light, you are not examining the patient. These are very important for clinical evaluation. Very important for clinical evaluation. So observe that. Observe the position. Note everything. Minute things also you note. Look for any files there, strips there. Look for any bio bottles there. Look for any material striven over there. Look for everything. Everything has to be noted when you have gone there, as far as attending on the patient of murcha avastha is concerned. Then when you have done all that, if your observation or the experience says that this case doesn't appear to be fit for me, then you can straight away refuse and ask the patient to go to some other hospital or call the ambulance. You can stand there, you can call the ambulance and refer to the patient. As far as other and homicidal or accidental cases are there, or because of shock or cerebral ischemia, or in unconscious patient because of MI and all, if that is there, pain, shock and all is there, you have got every right to attend. This right you get only when you have identified, you have properly observed the situation when you have gone there. You have gone there, you are a judge of the situation there, and you have to look to that and if everything is fine, there's nothing of that which can create some suspicion in your mind, so you can go ahead without any problem. First and foremost is properly take some help from the patient's attender. Give the proper position, that is supine position. If you are finding that any secretions are coming from the mouth, give the head low position. You have to give head low position to avoid unnecessarily aspiration pneumonia. So this is very important from clinical, because you are the initial person attending on that. Whatever measures you are adopting there could be life-saving one. Hence you need to attend to the patients in a very careful manner, right? So when you have done that, head low position you give, and once you attend to that, then you can systematically sit over there and do the examination, physical examination. Importance is look for the pulse. Number one, record the pulse for 60 seconds and note them, right? This is to identify the prognosis of the patient, basically to see whether the patient is dead or alive, right? Let me tell you very frankly, right? If the patient is in a state of unconsciousness, there is no the pulse is not going to vary in any way. So you can record the pulse. It should be normal, or sometimes could be sometimes tachycardia may be there, sometimes subnormal also may be there, right? Record them. Then look to the eyes. Go nearer to the patients. Try to smell the patient. Audible, whether the breath smell is alcoholic or what it is. You have to all do that in systematic manner. Once you do that, there is nothing to worry. You can definitely help the patient and try to judge the situation. Okay. Now record the blood pressure, record the pulse, record the blood pressure, look to the pupillary reaction, examine the eyes, look for the pupillary reaction. If the patient is unconscious and there can be a delayed response of the pupillary reaction will be there. And in morphine poisoning, the pinhead constriction of the pupil will be there, or paralytic dilatation. In other situations, paralytic dilatation will be there, and by illuminating with a torch the area, orbit area, there may be little response. If there is no response at all of the pupillary reaction, when other parameters are there and pupillary reaction is not there, I think the condition is not that good and patient has to be referred. Pupillary reaction is also one of the very important factor to be remembered while designating a person is dead or alive, or in what situation the patient is. I'm sorry. I hope I'm very clear in my this thing. Okay. Right. So when this examination is over, and ask about whether the patient was hypertensive or the patient was taking any drugs for the same, because usually all the hypertensive patients are put on some anti-anxiety drugs, what generally we call as sleeping tablets. Okay, maybe accidentally by mistake they must have consumed some extra amount of drug, maybe 1 or 2 pills later. Or if the patient is a diabetic, maybe the patient has taken extra drug, maybe could be an insulin injection, or could be oral hypoglycemic agent OHAs, or must have missed a meal or missed a drug. And all these can happen in these two category of people, because the incidence of diabetes and incidence of hypertension is rampant in the society. So we have got a larger scope that we are likely to be called by the patients to examine in a situation of Murcha Avastha. I hope I am very clear in my statements. So once you, for all these situations, for all these conditions, immediate hospitalization is very important, because in a hypoglycemic situation, patient needs immediate glucose, 100% glucose patient needs, oral glucose or IV glucose they may need. Or if the patient is in a stroke, they also need immediate medical attention. For anything, best would be reference. By identifying the condition and by referring the patient to the appropriate center, you will be doing a human service to these people, because it is this reference which is going to save the lives of the individuals. We may not be able to do anything at this level, but creating an awareness, identifying the condition, referring the patient to the appropriate center is of utmost importance. So immediately you can call the ambulance, you can refer the patient, and maybe within an hour or two, the patient is brought back and the patient is normal and patient is brought back to the life. So this is a very important from clinical application, clinical point of view. And this is how you have to apply your thoughts when you are there at the scene of the event. For anything, you need not worry, whether it is suicidal, whether it is homicidal, whether it is accidental, or whether it is because of incidental, that is because of hypoglycemia or hyperglycemia, or in a stroke, in a cerebellar stroke, or in cardiac stone. Identification is very important, and all these conditions need immediate reference and immediate medical attention. I hope I am very clear in my statements. So this is how Vyadi Nidana can be done very efficiently at the bedside by applying our thoughts. So regarding other narrations of Vataja, Pittaja, Kafaja, and Sannipataja Murcha, you can refer from Charaka, Sutrasthana, or Sushruta, Uttara Tantra, 46th chapter. You can refer and try to know more details of that. Okay. So even there is one condition called as Madhyajanya Murcha or Vishajanya Murcha again here, and Shonidajanya Murcha also. Of course, this is commonly seen in the society. What I would like to talk for 1 or 2 minutes here is that already I have regarding while telling about mother, I have told how to designate. I have already told that it's important is in Madhyajanya Murcha and Vishajanya Murcha, our mental alertness should be there. Our mental consciousness should be there. We should be conscious enough in identifying this order of the Madhya and order of the Visha. Simple hospitalization, simple forced urination is more than sufficient to bring back the patient. And in case of Vishajanya Murcha, they may require further procedures like stomach wash and all. That's the business of the hospital. They will do. Important is how best you identify as early as possible, and how immediately you refer the patient to the appropriate center, because more time is wasted in this and the life is in danger, because the unabsorbed material, whether it is poison or whether it is alcohol, the absorbed poison, unabsorbed poison play important role. Unabsorbed can be removed by a stomach wash, and absorbed one can be nullified by using antidotes or giving forced diuresis, what we call mutra laushadis and all. So all these are very beautiful techniques are there, can be helped out for these patients. What is important is your identification and immediate reference to the appropriate hospital carries more weightage. This one the Rog Nidana people have to remember in doing the Vyadhi Nidana at the bedside, that is a Murcha Avastha. So I am very clear in my statement. You must have seen people who have got a cerebral stroke. They do not have the awareness of passing urine, number 1 and number 2. So usually they are put, because they don't have a control at all. They do not have that inner consciousness, because they are already having a cerebral stroke. Since we are putting them on catheterization. Acha, what we do in Shaya Mutra and all, that is bedwetting in case of pediatric practice, should never be interpreted for anything of this kind. Okay, do not be in, that is usually the habitual. Every one of us have gone through that phase when we were small children, infant level or pediatric level, that is there. And as and when the child grows, automatically it goes up. There are certain children who continue to carry this Shaya Mutra, even Nilari, the Magush Baldide, my child has grown so much, 8 years, 10 years, even 14 years, 15 years, even now also she is having that bedwetting and all. There are a few things, and Ayurveda has got a wonderful answer for that. That you can see later when you go to 4th year, and when you study Kaumara Bhrutyam there. I think this year, the next year you are going to read Kaumara Bhrutyam, I suppose. There you can see in the further classes. Now it's not needed. Proper interpretation is very important. When I was in the initial, I said internal consciousness, external consciousness. That interpretation is very important from clinical point of view. Okay. Acha, in case of elderly people, as and the age advances, remember this is very clinical point of view. Please make note whenever possible for you, whenever in need, whenever needed, you make note. You can make a note, and whenever we meet in the college, if there are any confusions are there, you can seek clarification from me in the classroom. There is absolutely no problem. Okay. Now in elderly people, when the bladder becomes atonic, what is meant by atonic? Bladder has got its own strength, and in youngsters, in elderly people, as and when it grows, its tonicity also grows well. And that is the reason, even if you are made to sit in the class for 2-3 hours also, we can withhold our bladder, right? That is called as tonicity, because it has got the capacity holding back the urine in its area. What happens in elderly people is, in elderly people, the bladder becomes atonic. It has developed atonicity. The strength of it has gone down, and even minimal collection of urine makes them to go to toilet repeatedly. This is one we commonly experience in the commonly see in the practice. People do come to us they are brought illari en dinake 10 sari 15 sari hogtare nodri, my mother, my ajji, my mama, my mommy, all these, my father is repeatedly going to toilet. I don't know whether it is habit and all. Absolutely it is not habit. It is because of the atonicity of the bladder. Remember this. And this even the patient may not be able to reach sometimes toilet or the bathroom also. It starts, the urine starts dribbling on the cloth only, and he goes on dribbling urine till he reaches the bathroom. This can also happen sometimes. So the best way is to educate these people. I will tell you here only because you are going to be educated later. Let me not forget that you have to educate them regarding the age and the relation of the age in between the age and the bladder tonicity, and you have to educate them. And Ayurveda has got a wonderful answer for this anemic condition of the bladder. Normally we give jambu. Jambu asava is the best mutra stambhaka aushadhi, and this can be practiced. Because why I told you now, because even though you don't deserve this, many elderly people are there at your home, your nana, nani, dadi, many are there, ajis are there, who may be having this atonic bladder. You can, while going home, you can carry some bottles of that. You just give them morning 2 spoons and evening 2 spoons. This is going to have wonderful effect on that. And this mutra stambhana, it helps the patient to retain the urine in the bladder, and such unnecessarily dribbling of the urine in the entire home can be prevented. You know what happens when the urine is passed in the house and all, and it starts giving a tingy smell and creates an unfortunate atmosphere. So they are human beings. Let us, we have to, we need to accept that we cannot comment them. We should not pass any comments about them. No, these are all nonsense things. We never should not come to our mind and should not come to our lips. We have to educate them, whether person of our home or a person has come to my OPD as a patient. So these are few things you have to remember. Even a dribbling of urine doesn't need in Murcha Avastha. In non-Murcha Avastha also this can be seen, only in these situations, nothing else. Small children, quite understandable, no comments about that, because they do not have any control on them. They know wherever, whenever they are there, they go on doing number 1, number 2 and all. Okay, you need not worry about them. So this is about the evaluation of Murcha at the bedside. You can please note wherever you want to ask me questions. Once I complete my presentation, complete my class, you may feel free to ask me a couple of questions if possible. Okay, right. So this is about Shonitaja. A few words about Shonitaja Morcha. There are certain psychogenic problems wherein the moment one sees blood, they become unconscious. Now these are everybody doesn't have it. Very few people. I have experienced this in my clinic also. When I was doing dressings and all in my earlier days, when I was a practitioner, maybe 15 saal pehle. So when this suturing was done and bleeding was taking place, mothers or sisters or used to become immediate. They fall down. A varied state of unconsciousness was there. This we commonly experience. It is purely because of the personal experience. When they look at that and looking to the blood, they become unconscious. And and this is a simple condition. You need not worry. That doesn't, it's not alarming also. What is important is, if such situations are there, avoid them from that scene. Take them out of that scene and do your work. That's all, nothing else. Even when accidental injuries are there, people become unconscious, and these are sometimes misinterpreted that they also become unconscious. It's all a simple procedure in sprinkling of some water on the face, and some verbal calls or physical calls can bring back the patient to normal, because what they demand is immediate physical stimulation. Okay, this is about Murcha Avastha. In case of one important point I forgot to mention, in case of Murcha second or state of unconsciousness secondary to some poisoning, is alarming, is very dangerous. and these patients have to be immediately, within couple of minutes, you have to refer them to hospital, because the more earlier you refer, the more the life saving is possible. Otherwise, if delays, even delay of couple of minutes also could end, especially the products like OPP, organophosphorus poisonings, which are commonly used for pesticides purpose, or TIC-20 or this and all. Now these days, lockdown, you must have heard that that sterilization material are also being used in they are substituted for alcohol. Yeah, these are also done. They are it's very dangerous. So the alcoholic murchavastha, madhyajanya murcha is very easily attendable, easily manageable. But vishejanya murcha, the immediate reference is very important from your side. So you are the first primary person to attend on them, and you should be able to do that. Now, I think I have conveyed the complete message about the murchavastha, the third factor. So now we have known something clinical importance of Brahma, Mada, and Murcha, and how to attend to them. I will not highlight more about the literature. Already I have sent my PPT. You can know on them. There is absolutely not. Still, if you need, you can remind me in the class. I can explain that if you need. Okay, right. So let us go to further. So Morcha, okay, it's over now. I have given beautiful photographs also there in that. You can just see funny photographs are there. You can see there if it helps you in opening, right? Now the last factor in these four factors is coma. I have in the presentation, I have given the first slide, brain. Brain I have given. Remember, these all four factors are concerned to brain only. All the four factors. It could be a temporary one, or it could be a milder one, or it could be a severe form one. So ultimately, it is the brain which is affected, and it is the brain which has to be attended to while doing the management of this. Okay. Now, let us know something about coma state. In Charaka Sutra 24th chapter, 42nd, 43 shloka, he uses one word, kastvat patati. Kasti bhuto mrtopamaha. Cast means a log, wooden log. The patient appears appears as if unmoved, as if an wooden log is fallen there, which doesn't move, whether it is rainy, whether it is windy atmosphere, and if you try to move, it may not move. That beautiful example he has given. So this is the situation of a sannyasa, that is coma condition. The dictionary meaning of sannyasa is coma. The dictionary meaning of murcha is unconsciousness. Okay. Coma or sannyasa is a severe form of murchavastha. I repeat, coma or sannyasa is the severe form of murchavastha. If Brahma is not properly managed, it may end up in case. If that is not properly treated there, if the Mada Avastha is not properly treated, it may go further slip into a primary stage of Murcha, that is semi-conscious state. If at this level also it is not properly identified and treatment, the patient may slip in a state of Murchavastha, that is state of unconsciousness. And if here also proper identification and medical management or any management is not done, the patient may slip into deep unconscious state of unconsciousness, that is called as a coma state. As I said, coma state is a severe form of murchavastha. Sometimes it will be fatal also. Hello, am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Could be fatal. Okay. It could be it is the severe form of murchavastha, and it could be sometimes a fatal also. What is important is normally we the our BMS graduates fail to designate, to distinguish between what is meant by a simple syncope, what is meant by simple Brahma or giddiness, what is meant by a fainting, what is meant by a state of semi-consciousness, unconscious coma remains to be. This is very important. You must have expertization of identifying or designating what exactly is meant by coma. As I said, coma is the severe form of state of unconsciousness wherein verbal stimulations, oral calls, physical stimulations are not going to help out. There won't be absolutely, there may not be any response whatsoever on the patient. This itself is very more than sufficient to say that the patient's situation is not good. Patient's situation is not satisfactory. Okay, so this is about sannyasam. Coma could be because of many conditions, like in a stroke one may slip into coma state. In a case of hypoglycemic coma or hyperglycemic coma in a diabetes patient, commonly seen. When the patient, usually hypoglycemic coma is very dangerous and hyperglycemic coma is easily manageable. Hypoglycemic coma usually either doctor induced or induced by the patient himself accidentally or by mistake, maybe taking extra dose of insulin or extra dosage of drug and missing a meal or not taking meals immediately. We invariably we see 1 or 2 patients in a week who are brought with a history of hypoglycemic coma of varied situations. So you need to have this in your mind for doing the assessment of this coma. In case of some biliary disorders also, hepatic disorders also, like hepatic comas and all, many diseases are there, systems are there, and because of those systemic anomalies, coma conditions are seen. This situation is very alarming one, very dangerous one, and in spite of giving deeper stimulations, patients may not respond, and these patients need immediate medical attention. अमा जरा जा बोल ठेर का ना उनके 10 मिनट बाद में आकर उनको जा ये 1 ನಿಮಿಷ ಇರ್ರಿ ನಾನು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಲೆಕ್ಚರ್ ಮಾಡಕತ್ತೇನೆ ಇರ್ರಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಧ ತಾಸು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬರ್ರಿ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಸಾರಿ so this is sannyasa which is told. Proper identification of these 4 and distinguishing between these 4 situation is very important from clinical point of view. So this is about coma, that is sannyasa, which is very dangerous situation, and it could also be seen in many secondary to many diseases, renal problem, cardiac problem, hepatic problem, or peritoneal problem, or circulatory problems and all. It could be seen. So this is all I wanted to just give you some ideas regarding, and I have told you that I have not tried to read out the shlokas and try to tell you all that. So already I have just to help you out, because we may not get once again the situation to give you all the applied aspects of this 4 factors, like that is Brahma, Murcha, Mada, Murcha and Sannyasa. As I said, Brahma is easily manageable. It could be sometimes initiator or an alarm for some good metabolic disorders. Mother also could be because of some alcoholic or some other poisonous one. And rest of the 2, unconsciousness and coma, are the 2 very important things. And these all are interlinked. If the initial conditions are properly managed, properly taken care of, there is nothing botheration that these patients will slip into the other severe form, that is a state of murcha and a state of sannyasa. I hope I have given you the proper message regarding this. At times, my last slide is there in that. At times, your unconsciousness is truer than your conscious mind. So if there are any queries are there, you may feel free. Another 6 minutes are there. You may feel free to ask me the questions. Hello, am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
You may feel free to ask any question.
Sir,
Your
please comment on
expertise.
Sannipataja Murcha.
Acha, in Sannipaja Murcha, I told you I have not highlighted more on that. In Vataja Pitta, in my class, I had told you when we talk about the varieties of the doshaja, that is Vataja, Pittaja, Kapaja, Sannipadaja, and all related features are seen, like in Vataja, Varuna Varna, and immediate aggressive form of a repeated Murchavastha is seen. In Pittaja, Raktavana is all seen. In Kapaja, Shvetavarna, and slow onset is there. In Sannipataja, all mixed type of it is seen, and it is severe form. In Murchavastha, as you rightly questioned, combined features are seen. Vataja, Pittaja, Kapaja features are seen, and the prognosis of the Sannipada Murcha is not good. This is what we see into our literature. Sannipataja Murcha. And all the mixed features are seen in this Sannipataja Murcha Avastha. Any other question?
Thank you, sir.
There are many questions you can ask me. Still 5 minutes are there.
Sir,
This is not classroom. You can feel free to ask. Even if the question is not legible also, don't worry.
Sir, can Sannipataja Murcha leads to sannyasa?
So, madam, I said one thing that these are interrelated. If the Sannipaja Murcha, if it is not attended to at that particular level, any Murcha for that matter, whether it is Vataja, whether it is Pittaja, whether it is Kafaja, or whether it is Sannipataja, or whether it is Madhyajanya or Vishajanya Murcha, if they are not attended to at that particular situation, this situation may turn out to be a sannyasa case and further leading to death. This is for sure. Even if you refer to Charaka also, Charaka files of the same opinion he gives. Charaka also gives the same opinion. Is that
Okay,
answered?
sir. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Any other question? Many are there, you can ask me. Hiremat sir, do you have any question? I think 85 students are have logged in, no? 85 students. Acha, the class that CR is there? Class representative is listening to me.
Yes, sir.
Who is that? What's the
Prenal,
name
sir.
of the CR?
Prenal,
Huh?
sir. Prenal.
Renal. What is that?
Prenal, sir. Prenal.
Hello, you are not. Prenal. Okay. Acha, prenal. Is this sufficient matter or you need still more?
No, sir. Only the
Hello?
PPT was not with.
No, you already have posted yesterday. You will get that. Don't worry. You don't be panicky about it. PPT is already there. I have posted. You can take it down. You can individually. Otherwise, you are there in that. All the students are there connected to that 2018 batch. This thing.
Yes, sir. All are
Group.
there.
I will
Yes.
post it now. Don't worry. If it is missing also, right now after the class, I will post it. You can add on that.
Okay, sir.
Is this sufficient for people as far as evaluation is concerned? All those 4 conditions?
Yes, sir. It is okay.
Renal, am I audible to you?
Yes, sir. It is sufficient, sir.
Acha. Okay. Only thing is, what is my advice here is, your competency grows when you learn these things in with proper interpretation. Just read from the books and just forget to that level. Examination level should not be sufficient for us, because you are going to be in society, and we expect, at least I, Dr. Hulur, expects all the BMS graduates to be very expert in attending to these patients. Let us don't be frightened in attending this. You got the knowledge already. Sufficient matter is given to you, and you can definitely attend to these patients whenever, wherever your services are needed. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is it sufficient? Right. Thank.
It is sufficient.
Okay. Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Dr. Hiremat sir, is it sufficient? Hello.
So sir is not there. Hiramad sir is not there.
All right, all right, all right. Shall we close now? No, another 2 minutes are there. If anybody has got any doubt, he or she can ask me.
Sir, could you please comment over the hypoglycemic coma and the hypoglycemic coma?
Arey yaar, it takes more time. I'll just tell in 2 minutes. Okay. It's very simple. In sannyasa avastha, in murcha avastha, this is very important. In hypoglycemia, either it is doctor induced or it is self induced. How it is there? Hypoglycemia situation wherein secondary to the medication, the sugar level goes down. In hyperglycemia, because of the ignorance for having not detected the hyper state of sugar level is there in the blood, and this can result in a coma situation. That is what is called as hyperglycemia. And hypoglycemia, acute reduction in the blood sugar level is called as hypoglycemia. Remember, hypoglycemia is a very dangerous condition because ultimately it is the brain which is affected, and the brain survives on important element, that is glucose and oxygen. If the brain cell is deprived of glucose, many complicated conditions may arise, including death. Hence, you have to record history immediately. If the patient is brought to you, and usually 99.9% of the times the patient has got overdosage of the drug, insulin or oral drug. The patient has taken the injection, the patient has taken the oral drug, and here the patient has not taken meal, and this is more than sufficient to designate. And immediately what is needed is you have to give them sugar or glucose, either by oral route in form of sugar water, or if you are having the provisions, you can give 100% glucose intravenously rapidly. Within couple of seconds the patient will come back to life. As soon as the blood receives glucose, whatever may be the percentage, immediately the patient becomes conscious. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Is that clear? So in the class you can ask me once again. I'll try to elaborate once again in couple of minutes. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay then, thank you very much for patient hearing. Thank you.
Parawa era la